Hare Krishna. Welcome to the third and last day of the Vedic ambassador, Srila Prabhupada. We'll hear today few more interesting pastimes, leelas, which I treasure as a person. Before that, let us seek the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and start our journey. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakturanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. One of the interesting part of Srila Prabhupada's Leela is during his childhood. He used to fondly remember his father, and he would always thank and show his gratefulness and indebtedness to his father for being what he was. A true Vaishnava, always wanted Abhay, Bhaktivedanta Swami, to be a great devotee of Srimati Radharani. His mother wanted him to be a barrister, go to the West. But his father, on the contrary, wanted him to learn Mridanga, learn to worship deities, and become a great devotee of Krishna. Prabhupada fondly remembers his father as a child when he insisted during a Rath Yatra festival that he also wants to hold a Rath Yatra. His father arranged a small Rath Yatra through a carpenter, and Abhay was so elated that he himself organized a grand Rath Yatra along with his friends from the neighbors. Father gave him some money, and with that he arranged the other requirements of the Rath Yatra, and he organized the first Rath Yatra in his life. So he had Jagannath Baldev on the small chariot, and Prabhupada, that is Abhay, and his small friends pulled the chariot. And Prabhupada's father, Abhay's father, was very happy looking at this. So Prabhupada commented later when he became a worldwide Acharya of a Hare Krishna Movement, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Whatever I was doing in the childhood, whatever my father taught me, I am doing the same thing here on the eve of a grand Rath Yatra. Prabhupada was fond of samosa, kachori, and hence he was also named as Kachori Mukh by his uncle, Nandulal by his father, another pet name, because he was born on Nandotsav. And whatever Prabhupada wanted, his father used to make sure that he gets it, even at the cost of making his mother wake up in the midnight and cook a jalebi, halwa, or a puri for Abhay. He would do so at any cost. He would invite a lot of saintly men, sometimes not so saintly, to come and dine at their house, and he would request them to bless Abhay to become a great devotee of Lord Shri Krishna. His father was a cloth merchant and used to keep, and many times he would give anecdotes. During his childhood, there was a bombing in Kolkata, and he could hear that. And there was a severe drought and famine in Calcutta, and recollects and remembers one Babaji did a massive Sankirtana on the streets of Kolkata, and there was a relief, there was a shower, there was pouring of water, it was raining. So since then he knew And the effect of plague had subsided, the effect of famine had subsided, and even the effect of World War had subsided by the impact of Sankirtana. The same thing he wanted to introduce throughout the world. As a Acharya and founder of Hare Krishna Movement, he taught all of them wherever he went about these two things: to have prasadam, offer it to the Lord and honor them, and massive Sankirtana. And he would strongly believe this would change the face of the whole world, and it has done so. It is a proven material that anyone who has any kind of contamination in the heart, or even otherwise, anyone who takes up to Krishna consciousness, the tendency to perform even the sin itself vanishes in the thin air. Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda had appeared. They were Krishna and Balram, but in Kali Yuga they didn't appear to kill the demons. They appeared to kill the sinful demons within our hearts. And Prabhupada took these two lordships throughout the world. And today, Nitai, Gauranga, Nityananda and Chaitanya is available to mankind at large to get the mercy and to get purified and to be sober and be actively blissful and happy in Krishna consciousness. Of course, the living entities have a choice to take it or not to take it, but knowing the heart of the Lord, Prabhupada's disciples and Prabhupada constantly guiding them even now after his physical departure to spread this message. In one lecture, Prabhupada commented on the appearance day of Chaitanya or Nityananda, these two lords are very merciful. They have appeared. So please take care of them and there will be no difficulty in executing Krishna consciousness. So another thing during his childhood was he was not interested to go to schools as any child would, but his mother was insisting to him to go to school, and she would appoint a caretaker who would forcefully take him, pack his books and bag and take him forcefully to the school. As like any child, he didn't want to go to school. And whenever he decided not to go to school, his father would kindly agree to his proposal and say, okay, it's okay, no need to go to school. But mother was unhappy. And sometimes Prabhupada would thank her mother because of her insistence. Because of her insistence, Prabhupada could get educated. Of course, as he grew up, he was deeply influenced by the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi, that the country is ruled by Britishers and it's imperative for us to get freedom from the British rule. So he actively participated in the Mahatma Gandhi's non-cooperation movement, and he gave up all the goods which are made in England or made in Britain tag, and also he gave up his degree on the call of Mahatma, when it was norm there those days when Prabhupada was graduating from Scottish College. He gave up. And talking about Scottish College, Prabhupada's senior was Subhash Chandra Bose. And Prabhupada comments about Subhash Chandra Bose saying that it was not actually Gandhi's Quit India movement that got India the freedom, but actually it was the Indian National Army, Azad Hind Force of Subhash Chandra Bose, who got the Britishers quit the country. Anyways, this was Prabhupada's college days, and he was inspired by the nationalistic movement of Mahatma Gandhi. And at that point of time in 1922, one of his friend, Narendra Mullik, he said, Abhay, there is one great saintly person in the city, in Kolkata. His name is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura. I want you to come and meet him. By then, Abhay had lost all the hope on the saintly people, as he had seen since childhood. His father used to invite a lot of saintly people, and not everyone was of a good character or a caliber. or pure. So he also thought that this saint also would be of that category. But Narendra Mullik forced him to come and meet Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the Ulta Danga Road, Gaudiya Math. And that was the turning point. That was the beginning of the end of Kali Yuga's influence in Kali Yuga. For next 9,500 years, the impact of Kali Yuga will be greatly diminished by the impact of Srila Prabhupada's appearance and his teaching and his meeting Bhaktisiddhanta, and how his endeavors to propagate Krishna Consciousness movement all over the world will greatly impact the advance of Kali. So when he met him for the first time, in the first instance itself, Bhaktisiddhanta requested him, you are educated in English, and you understand the philosophy of Krishna Consciousness. So I want youngsters like you to take up Krishna Consciousness seriously and spread this message to the English-speaking audience. Prabhupada was taken aback in that sense. Even in the first meeting, Bhaktisiddhanta would say this. But Prabhupada had his argument that India still being a dependent country, not independent, how will the world listen to a poor country like us? But Bhaktisiddhanta reasoned that spirituality or Krishna consciousness is not dependent on the externals. We have to just go and preach Krishna consciousness. At that time, he was a family man. He had his business and other responsibilities. He didn't take it seriously, but eventually he was in touch with the Gaudiya Math devotees. He also helped the Gaudiya Math devotees help to set up a center in Allahabad and even in Mumbai. Later on, formally in 1932 or 33, Swami Prabhupada got initiated. He got both first and second initiated in one instance also. And maybe he met Bhaktisiddhanta in Radhakund or a couple of times more, maybe 4 or 5 times, until he got the letter from Bhaktisiddhanta written on the eve of his departure from this material world, December 1936. In the beginning of December 1936, he writes a letter to Abhay Charan. And in the letter also, Bhaktisiddhanta was reinstating, requesting, repeated same thing what he had told Abhay or Abhay Charanaravinda about preaching the message of Krishna consciousness to the English-speaking world. And in 1936, end of December month, Bhaktisiddhanta passed away. And to fulfill his desire, he slogged, worked really hard. He established an organization called League of Devotees. He had his plans to recruit educated men to take up Krishna consciousness seriously. And he had set up an organizational rules and regulations. He had one Acharya Prabhakar, who was his first disciples. He remembers fondly Prabhupada, how he was really serious about spreading this mission. But due to some unforeseen reasons, that didn't take off. It was a big apparent failure. Of course, there's no failure in Krishna consciousness. Any endeavor done for Krishna is always successful, always success. There is no failure in acts of Krishna consciousness. Many times Prabhupada commented. And in 1944, he decided to start a Back to Godhead magazine. And he would travel. 1944 or 1954, he started this magazine. And getting paper for the magazine was a challenge, because those days it was all rationed. And one owner of the printer, he would say, Swamiji, why are you doing this? Because Prabhupada would travel from Vrindavan and go to Delhi, purchase the papers, go to the printing press, personally do the adjustments, and then get it printed, pay for the printing. get those magazines distributed personally. And all he was doing all alone. And he would say, why are you doing this? Then Abhay would reply, it is the order of my spiritual master. I have to do this. And there was no support from his wife. In fact, when Abhay asked his wife whether you want me or a cup of tea, she said, I would prefer a tea over my husband. So that was a flashpoint for him to live his household and take up Krishna consciousness seriously. And he moved to Vrindavan. So he got Sannyasa Diksha, as I said in the previous class, in 1959. He was staying in Radha Damodar temple with humble belongings, hardly any big room. Doesn't had a bed also. He was lying on the floor. And he would look at Rupa Goswami Samadhi Mandir, Rupa Goswami Bhajan Koter, and he would chant his rounds. And he would take inspiration from Goswamis. It is said that these Goswamis appeared, especially Rupa Goswami, and assured Prabhupada that his desire to spread the mission all across the globe would surely be crowned with success. And he was very elated. He would broom the courtyard of Rupa Goswami Samadhi Mandir and cry, beg for the blessings of these Goswamis. Because Radha Damodar temple is a very special place. Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, all these Goswami would sit there and work out and chalk out plans for the worldwide Hare Krishna movement spreading by writing this wonderful literatures which formed the basis of Hare Krishna movement, which formed the basis of Srila Prabhupada's translation of books. And one instance which moved me very badly was how much Prabhupada struggled to spread this message of Krishna consciousness. Those Back to God magazine, he would bring them back to Vrindavan and he would distribute it personally. The director of Radha Raman temple, he shared this with Chanchalapati Prabhu, wherein he says, we were small then and we would come to know that Bhaktivedanta Swami has come with the magazine. So we would run outside our house and we'll go to the entrance of our temple and we would pay 3 paise or 5 paise those days and take the magazine and rush back home. Those who have been to Vrindavan, Radha Raman temple, the door and the temple is quite far away. You have to walk at least 50 meters to reach. But they would get to know that Abhay Charanaravindha Bhaktivedanta Swami has arrived because Prabhupada used to move in different places in Vrindavan by his cycle. And the bicycle was not in a good shape and it would make a lot of sound, a different unique sound because of less maintenance issues. And that sound would attract the attention of these kids and they would come to know it's Bhaktivedanta Swami's cycle. They would come out and they would collect. Just imagine, why would he need to do all this thing? And astrologer said he would be the next Birla and Tata if he would have continued his business. He was the pioneer in chemical pharmaceutical industry. But he gave up all that. Gave up his family, gave up his business. He had a plans. I would have this business, I would earn a lot of money. With that money, I would print books because Bhakti Siddhanta always insisted, print books. Whenever you get money, print books. That was his sole intention. He, in fact, compiled Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, 3 volumes. And he personally had the audience of meeting Lal Bahadur Shastri and gifting him the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, Lal Bahadur Shastri recommended the Bhaktivedanta Swami's book in all leading libraries in India. With those books only, he left for the United States. Before going to the United States, he visited Mayapur, and before that also quite often he used to visit Mayapur, and especially the place of Advaita Acharya, Shantipur. At his samadhi, he would come and cry, and praying to this Acharyas to give him strength. The pujari of the temple noted that. And later on, some of his disciples who had met this pujari in Shantipur gave the copy of Back to God magazine. He could see that it was his old friend who would come there and cry and chant his japa for hours together. When asked at that time, Abhacharan had told that my Guru Maharaj has given me a mammoth task of spreading this message of Lord Chaitanya to the English speaking world. I don't know how can I do this. So I'm here to seek blessings of Advaita Acharya. And he was very elated, the pujari, when he saw Back to God magazine and his same Abhacharan has become Bhaktivedanta Swami. He rushed over Mayapur temple and wanted to meet Swami Prabhupada. So all the Acharyas are like that. They are very compassionate, extremely merciful, highly tolerant. All they want is every jiva should be happy. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. That is the message of Krishna consciousness. And the only way to become happy and truly Krishna conscious is to take up chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra seriously. 16 rounds of Hare Krishna and few regulations that will make us truly happy. And such acharyas come once in a while, not regularly. So we are all privileged, fortunate, blessed that we are able to access Swami Prabhupada's teachings. Not everyone gets this opportunity. So take this opportunity very seriously and follow the instruction of Prabhupada. Read his books, chant 16 rounds, follow the few regulations, which is easy and doable. Make your life successful and get out of this place. Thank you so much for patiently hearing. Hare Krishna.